Rena? Are you all right?
I'm fine, honey.
How's Ginny?
She's sleeping.
Does she understand what's happened?
We talked about the baby. She knows she's lost it, honey. I'm surprised to see you here.
Yeah, well, Steve asked me to come into town and see how his mother was. So I told him I would.
I'm glad you did.
I will be able to tell Steve that Ginny's all right. She's not going to die or anything.
No. Not unless Barrett kills her.
Ginny, about the child that I lost.
Mom, you haven't talked about that in years.
I thought it was necessary today. I just hope it helped a little.
Come in.
Ryan. I'm so sorry about the baby, Ryan.
I appreciate that, Kate.
What can I do for you, Ryan?
I have to see Ginny. Now, I'll do it with or without your permission, but I have to be with her.
Poor old Bernie Bear. But you're real worried about Elaine, ain't you, huh? Of course you are. So am I. She's gonna be all right, buddy. I promise you. There's somebody bigger than you and me watching over right now. Lorna, I know I don't talk to you too much or anything, but, would you please watch over Elaine and see if she's all right, huh? Not just for me. There's a lot of other people that need Elena. There's Jeff and Maggie and Ricky and, oh, man, things just starting to break her way, man. Things just starting to happen. We just can't take that away from her. Not now, huh? Please?
Let's go. Get back!
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
What the devil makes you think that Barrett would ever want to kill Ginny?
Because he almost did. He knocked her to the floor.
Rena, honey, now listen. I can understand you being upset about that. It upsets me too. But that doesn't mean that Barry would ever want to kill Ginny.
Max, he's crazy. There's no telling what he might do.
Now you hold on. Now I spend a lot of time with Barry, and he's not crazy. He's a good, level-headed man.
When he's working with the ranch hands, I'm sure he is.
You can judge a man real well by the way he treats his workers and the way he works.
But, honey, that's the point. I have no doubt that he's all right when he's master of the ranch and in control. But you mentioned Ryan's name to him, and you just see what happens.
Now, you should have known you were headed for trouble when you set up that meeting with Ryan and Ginny.
Oh, Max, I didn't know what else to do.
Well, you could have... Okay. It's done. Now, just forget it and let Barrett and Ginny work out their problems on their own.
That's what Mama says.
Well, Vicky makes a lot of sense. Now, you should listen to her once in a while. Now, look, Ginny and Barrett, they're going to have a real tough time trying to forget about losing the baby. Look, I know how much Barrett wanted that child. That's all he could ever talk about. And we're going to have to help him through this period. I'm really sorry about the baby.
Well, when Ginny's well enough, we'll just have another baby.
Look what Bernie gave me.
Well, yeah, that's real nice. Where'd you win that, Bernie?
I didn't win it.
It's a magic bear.
A magic bear?
Yeah. But I haven't shown you the most magical part of all. I was waiting till he got back.
What are you doing?
I'm winding him up, because he's got secrets.
Bernie! It's my song.
Hey, it's all over town. Hey, that's really something. How'd you manage that, buddy? Huh?
Well, Elena left the sheet music laying around, and I got this friend who makes music boxes, and so the rest was easy.
Well, ain't that something? That's really something, ain't it? Huh? Hear that, Bernie Bear, huh? Well, the song just keeps on getting bigger and bigger all the time. Yes, sir. She's gonna make a lot of money off that record. Whole bunch. She's gonna be a superstar. Yeah. I sure wonder what Bernie have to say, huh? If he could see Elena now. That was sure nice of him to give you to Elena. Yeah, he did a real nice thing there. I don't think Elena could have done it without you, you know that? She keeps on telling me that all the time. And then, Bernie putting that music box inside you. Yeah, Bernie, he was a good old buddy. It's all now. Old Bernie. What's the matter there, buddy? Don't you feel like singing, huh? I don't blame you much. Not much to sing about. I don't see you. Maybe there's something jarred loose inside you. Let's check it out here, buddy, huh? Let's look over here.
Over here on the bed.
You're hurting me.
Just sit still and shut up.
You're not going to get away with this, you know. Look, it's ever going to find me here.
Yeah, that's why we're not gonna stay here.
No.
We got the whole ship. I just gotta make sure I find them before they find me.
you just let me go? If I'm safe, it won't hurt you, I promise.
Sure. And that promise would last about 5 minutes, just long enough for them to find out that you're all right, and your ex-cop brother were trying to pull me in. All right, Elena.
What?
Come on.
Where are we going?
No questions. Just move.
No! No!
Ryan, I do understand how you feel. But now is not the time for you to see her.
She just lost our baby. Now I can't let her deal with that by herself.
She's not dealing with it by herself. Her whole family's trying
It's
to
not
help
the
her.
same thing.
No, it's not. But truthfully, I just don't think Ginny can handle seeing you right now.
Courtney, I think I can help her.
Seeing you will be very hard on her. Can't you wait until she's a little stronger?
Well, how long is that going to be?
Give her a day or so.
I can't bear the thought of her being alone in that hospital room for even an hour, don't you understand?
Well, she's very, very heavily sedated, so she doesn't really know much of what's going on anyway. Please wait.
Barrett is in the hospital now.
Oh, great. I'm sure that's going to be a real big comfort to Ginny, isn't it?
He's suffering, too.
Ryan, he thinks the baby that Ginny lost was his. You saw how he reacted when I told you what happened.
You're strange.
What's that?
Barry was very calm when I talked to him. I had a feeling he hadn't accepted the fact that the baby was gone. You know, everyone reacts differently to grief. It was as if he was trying to pretend that everything was going to be all right.
Has he spent any time with Ginny?
A little.
Maybe she told him that the baby was mine. Is that possible?
No,
No, maybe he guessed. Maybe I gave it away when I heard the news.
I've never heard of anything so insensitive.
Now, honey, maybe there's something to what Barrett says.
Max,
Oh, I think that having another baby right away would do wonders for both of us. I'm certain of it.
I doubt that Ginny will feel that way.
Oh, I think in time she'll agree with me.
What will you do if she doesn't, Barrett?
hit her again.
Rena, now that isn't called for. I think you should apologize to Barrett for saying so.
I just don't know what's gotten into Rena lately.
Well, she's upset, Barry. Well, she's been up since the crack of dawn, and she's worn out. She's not thinking straight. I apologize for her.
Oh, that's all right, Max. I've just forgotten how emotional Rena gets about things. I know she's angry with me about not going along with Justin's plans to drill for oil out the property.
Rena talked to you about drilling on your land?
And Justin pressured her into it, I'm sure. She'd never been able to say no to him.
When did she talk to you?
Oh, the day that Justin made his proposal to Grandma and me. And then a couple of days later. She thought if I agreed to drill, then you would, too.
You never talked to me about this before.
Well, I never mentioned it because I didn't want to cause trouble between you two.
But Rena has the
now,
right.
Max, just forget I said anything, okay? I'm going to get some coffee. Want some?
No, thanks, Barry.
Okay, see you later.
Take that. Hey, Rick, come here.
Not going down there.
You got no choice.
Please let me go. Please. I won't tell anyone what happened. I promise. I'll tell them I'm on drugs again. They'll believe that. Please. Please don't make me go down there.
Shut up. Keep your mouth shut and move.
Grandma, you know Barrett better than anyone else. What do you think?
Well, I'm just not sure that I know Barrett anymore. I don't know whether he knows the baby is yours or not. I'm just not sure. But my guess is that he wanted that child so much that he couldn't bear the thought of losing it. Everyone handles grief differently. It's much more difficult for some people than it is for others.
All I care about is making things easier for Ginny.
Ryan, I'll arrange for you to see her tomorrow.
Thanks. I'll wait.
Grandma, how do you think Barrett would react if he knew that the baby was Ryan's?
I don't think there's any reason for him to know now.
But suppose he found out some way. Could he handle it?
Courtney, why are you asking me this?
Well, Jenny called me this morning and asked me to come out to the ranch this afternoon, and I had the feeling that she wanted to talk to me about Barrett. And then everything happened, so of course I really haven't had a chance to ask her.
I just don't know what the problems are between Barrett and Ginny now. I just hope they aren't major ones.
I just had the distinct impression that there's something really wrong.
Barrett and Jeb had a falling out. Maybe that's what she wanted to discuss with you.
Grandma, do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on Barrett for the next day or two, and let me know how he behaves.
All right, I will. But I don't think there is really anything to worry about.
Honey, I got you some black. Has Barrett left the hospital?
Yes.
Have you seen Ginny yet?
Well, for a few minutes. She was pretty sleepy.
She's sleeping now.
Well, your cousin Bart said. You know, it's funny. We haven't seen Kate yet.
Oh, she went to the clinic to talk to Courtney.
You want to drive back out to the ranch to get some rest?
No, I'm not tired, honey.
Could have fooled me.
I think that maybe I'm too worried to rest for very long.
Well, we could go over to Maggie's to get something to eat. Or we can stay here.
You know what I would really like, I think, is to go to Mom and Dad's and just shower and change my clothes.
Okay, I'll drive you over.
Honey, if Stryker's there, maybe you can talk to him about purchasing that Harper land and working out some sort of deal with Justin.
Rena, did you talk to Barry and try to get him to drill oil on his property so I would too?
Where would you get an idea like that?
From Barry?
Oh, no wonder. That explains it.
Why didn't you tell me about it?
There's nothing to tell, honey. I never tried to talk Barry into drilling for oil. And the only time I discussed oil with him was that time that he started the argument with me.
I got the impression that you had a couple of talks with Barry about it.
That's the impression he wants you to have.
But if it's not true, why...
Honey, don't you realize what he's trying to do? He's trying to cause a problem between us.
Well, that's just crazy, Rena. I mean, Barry and I have been friends for years. He was really happy when I married you.
He's not happy about it now. If I were you, I wouldn't believe anything that he said. Especially about me.
Now, hold still there, buddy. I ain't much of a mechanic, but maybe something just sort of slipped loose here. Hold still. Hello.
Billy Joe?
Oh, hi there, darling. How you doing?
Well, I'm fine, honey.
Oh, good. And how's the baby?
Oh, fine, fine.
concerned, though.
Well, what about?
Well, I was expecting to hear from you last night.
Oh, honey, that's right. Well, things got sort of busy after the concert last night. I'm real sorry.
Oh, I understand. I don't mean to be scolding you or anything. I was just curious if you got any more, reviews in the papers.
No, not that I know of.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Hey, guess what? KVIK ran this special report on their 6 o'clock news all about Elena's debut in New York City.
Oh, yeah? Well, what'd they have to say?
Oh, all sorts of good stuff about how good she is, and about the good reviews in the New York papers.
Oh, good. That's real nice to hear, hon.
Hey, how did that interview go on that TV talk show you set up?
The interview? Oh, honey, we had to cancel it.
Well, how come? I thought you were real excited about that.
Oh, I was. It was just that, Elena was feeling real poorly at the last minute.
Oh, that's too bad. I hope you can reschedule it.
Well, I'm trying to, but you know how those things are.
Well, hey, honey, is everything all right?
Well, yeah, honey, everything's fine. It just couldn't be better. Everything's fine.
Well, you sound a little bit funny.
Well, that's because I'm sort of busy right now, honey. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm expecting a phone call from one of them talk show people. And, I can't stay on the phone long.
All right. Baby, I miss you.
Honey, I miss you, too. Look, honey, we should be home in the next couple of days, and, I'm gonna try to call you tonight, all right? Goodbye, Anita. Yeah, I love you, too. What are we gonna tell the folks back home, Bernie Bear, huh? Can't keep in the dark forever.
Ashley?
Hello, Hotshot. I keep you waiting long?
No, I just arrived. May I get you a drink?
So early in the afternoon.
We'll order in a few minutes. Well, did you have any trouble getting away?
No, Becky's covering the phone for me.
Who's covering Ryan Connor?
He's not in the office. It's just as well anyway.
Well, why is it just as well?
Well, when he's there, he can't get any work done.
Is that because you're too distracting?
No. No, apparently he has someone in the hospital that he's real worried about. They must be very ill.
Ashley, Alex happens to be Ryan's uncle, not just his friend.
I'm not talking about Alex Wheeler. No, it's somebody else. I don't know who it is.
Why don't you just come right out and ask?
Well, there's no need for that. I'll find out eventually. Oh, by the way, your friend Miss Rena came by today to see Ryan Connor.
Rena?
It's possible she looked even worse than he did. You know, Justin, it was really strange. I could have sworn when they walked out today that they'd both been crying.
You know where they were going?
Well, Ryan mumbled something about the clinic, but I...
Oh, Lord. Ginny.
Your brother Barrett's wife?
She's in the hospital now. Courtney called me, told me that Ginny had lost her baby.
Oh, no. Oh, how terrible for her. Well, no wonder they both look so sad.
I wonder.
What?
I wonder if that baby is Ryan's, not Barrett's.
It was. I overheard Ryan Connor and Mr. Wheeler talking about it a long time ago.
And you kept it from me?
I didn't think that it was any of your business. I still don't.
I wonder how many other little bits of information you don't think are any of my business.
Well, I do have one interesting piece of information for you. You remember when you did the investigation at World Oil about the misappropriation of funds?
Yes, nothing came of it.
Well, something might be coming of it now.
Really?
Did you ever get to meet Mr. Johnson from accounting?
No, I don't remember him.
Well, Mr. Johnson has disappeared. And all the files that Mr. Johnson was working on have disappeared. And I think it's tied up somewhere in that investigation that you had. But you might want to check into it.
Stryker?
Yes, Vicky.
Beth is fixing you something to eat.
Thank you, honey.
What is the point in your coming home to relax if you're going to spend the whole time working?
How was the board meeting?
Oh, surprisingly short, thank goodness.
Mr. Laurie must be out of town.
He is. I'll get it. Rena, honey.
Hi, Mama.
Oh. Hello, Max, dear. What a nice surprise.
Hello, Daddy.
Oh, honey. Good to see you, Max.
Stryker?
Where you been? In the hospital?
Yes,
How's Jenny?
as well as can be expected.
How are you?
I think I'd like a shower and change my clothes.
Have you eaten anything, honey?
No, I'm not hungry.
Max, want to join me for lunch?
Yeah, I'll join you. I'm starving.
All right, everybody sit down.
Did I leave any clothes here, Mom?
Yes, they're up in your room, sweetheart.
Okay.
Beth, we're going to have another guest for lunch. So, when's Jenny get out of the hospital?
I would say in about a day or so.
I saw her for a few minutes. She really looked depressed. But I think getting back to the ranch will help.
She's better off in the hospital.
Why do you say that, honey?
Oh, you know, Daddy, in case any complications develop.
Don't worry, they won't allow her to leave the hospital until she's well enough.
I just don't want anything else to happen to her.
Don't worry about Jenny. She's a strong girl. She'll come through with flying colors.
Your daddy's right, honey. Nothing's gonna happen to Ginny. She'll be just fine.
And I intend to see to that.
Rena, dear, you promised me you wouldn't interfere.
I'm sorry, Mama. I just can't keep that promise.
What'd you find?
Yeah, come here, look at this. Isn't that Elena's ring?
Yeah, I think it is.
And she must be here.
Yeah, she was here.
It's the place that they've been keeping her.
I think you're right.
Listen, do you think that they saw us coming?
Yeah, maybe.
Look, I bet she's on this ship. Come on.
They'll find me here, you know.
Good. I'll be waiting for her. All right, look, what are we gonna do?
All right, let's split up. You go that way. There was another hatch on the deck back there where we came in. It leads to another part of the ship. I'll check that out.
Honey, where's that New York paper you brought home? I want to show Max a review of his sister singing it.
Oh, it's right here in my briefcase. There you are.
Where did you get a New York paper?
Our station receives papers from all over the country.
Do you read them all?
No, just the editorial pages. But the reporter, you know, who did the 6 o'clock news and the segment on Elena, well, he read the review and gave it to me.
You should be proud of Elena. Those Yankees tough to please.
Boy, this is a real nice article.
I hear a song on the radio all the time.
Let me see it, honey.
You know, I heard that tune twice coming into town this afternoon.
Of course, Kitty Wells is my favorite, but I do like the way Elena sings.
Oh, believe me, that is a great compliment. For Stryker to mention anyone's name in the same breath as Kitty Wells, well...
You two should have flown to New York for the performance.
Oh, Ricky's there. Ricky is representing the family. But Rena and I, Well, we plan to hear Elena sing when she gets back to Houston.
Yeah, that's great. You should come to town more often.
Well, I was in town this morning to see Justin Marshall.
About the oil rigs he's putting up in the Harper place?
Yeah, that's what it was about, for all the good it did me.
I know how you feel about drilling for oil out there.
There is no oil out there, Stryker. At least not in the Harper land. I know that, and Justin knows it.
But I understand that World Oil is investing a great deal of money in this project.
That's because Justin conned him. He figures that if he puts up a whole lot of oil rigs in the Harper land, well, I'll just give in and let him drill in our land.
Seems like you're taking quite a gamble there.
I think he's bluffing.
What if he's not?
I thought about that. And I was wondering if you could help me.
What's your plan?
Well, if World Oil hasn't already bought the Harper land, I'd like to bid on it. With as much money as Rena's willing to spend.
Well, Lynn's gonna be real upset if she comes back. I mean, when she comes back and finds that you're not singing your little song, huh? Well, let's see if maybe we can find out what's wrong here, huh? Not that I know anything about music boxes, but gotta give it a try here, huh? Old Billy Joe's gonna do his best. Now, I'm gonna have to open you up, but don't you worry, buddy. When I'm all done with you, I'm gonna glue you back together, and Lena won't know anything was wrong in the first place. No sirree, she won't know a thing. You'll look brand new. Oops, I'm gonna lose your stuffing. What we got in here? Hey, wait a minute, what's this? This ain't... Key? Metropolitan Lockers. What would you be doing with the key stuffed inside you? Wait a minute, man, this can't be.
Don't you go start blaming yourself for what happened.
I got her the record deal. I'm the one that got her the club date right here in New York. If it hadn't been for me, man, she'd be safe and sound back in Houston right now.
How do you know she'd be safe and sound back in Houston? I mean, that's where she met this guy, Skip, right? He drugged her, dragged her off to some sleazy flea-bag hotel and questioned her. I just wish I knew what he was looking for.
How do you mean, what he's looking for?
Because the whole time that he had her, he kept asking her, where is it?
Lynn never told me that.
Yeah, well, that's probably because she wanted to forget about it, probably.
This is it, man. This is what that sailor guy's been looking for, right here in my hands. It's the key.
Where?
Bernie must have stuffed it in the back of old Bernie Bear here. Yeah.
Okay, look, I'll meet you...
But I'd sure like to know what's all so important about the inside of that locker.
Yeah, he's here.
They're not gonna leave until they find me.
That's what I'm counting on.
What are you gonna do?
What do you think?
Please, please. Don't. Skip. I don't think that you're a killer. Just because you killed Bernie.
There have been lots of Bernies.
That's wrong.
Shut up!
Why? Why? But Ricky and Jim, they didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
I got my orders.
Is that why you killed somebody? Because you got your orders?
I couldn't let you go if I wanted to. It's too late.
No, it's not too late.
You've seen me.
I won't tell anybody, I promise. Skip, please. Don't kill me.
I've got no choice. Don't you see? I got to.
No. I don't want to die. Please. I don't want to die.
Boy, little bear, sure wish you could talk. Because I just love to know what's inside that locker that this key opens up. You know that? Must be awfully important if they kill Bernie to get to it. Yeah. What could it be for, huh? Holy cow. Diamonds. Diamonds right here. And pearls. It just don't stop. Oh my gosh. Right here, everything's right. A whole treasure chest full right here. We're rich. Diamonds and rubies, we're rich.
Billy Joe! Billy Joe, where have you been?
Nita, honey, we're rich. We're rich. You, me, and Billy Joe Jr. We'll never have to worry about money again.
We don't need money. We got each other.
No, honey, don't you see, darling? We can send Billy Joe Jr. to the best schools. We can buy you beautiful clothes. Look, we can live in a beautiful house right here, darling. Look. Here.
Honey, where did you get this? I hope you haven't done anything wrong.
Oh, no, darling. I've done something good. Something real good for you and me and Billy Joe Jr. and Elena and everybody we know. Here, honey. You deserve something real special.
Honey, I told you if we got mixed up in the wrong kind of people, I'd leave you.
Billy Joe, what's going on?
Elena, honey. We made it, honey. We made it. Look. Honey, honey, kiss. This is for you. Right here, kiss. Right here, kiss.
Look, Jed, look what Billy Joe has done.
It's all the excitement.
Look what Billy Joe has done. Isn't Billy Joe wonderful?
Oh, honey. I love you.
I love you too, darling.
You're one.
You're one.
You're one. You're one.
We're rich, Bernie Bear, you know that? Oh, no, Elena. Oh, no, this is what the sailor guy's after. Oh, no, what am I going to do now? What? Oh, I got to get this key to Jeb and Ricky.
Why don't you keep that little tape recorder of yours handy? You can let me know what develops.
I'm really surprised at you, Justin. I thought you'd be a lot more interested in Mr. Johnson and all the strange turn of events.
I'm interested. I've just got more on my hands right now to worry about with this oil drilling project. Bubba's moving in the heavy equipment tomorrow. We're going to start drilling a test well.
You are kidding. I had no idea that you could go so quickly.
When a fortune is at stake, Ashley, I don't waste time.
I hope not. Justin, if you don't find oil out there, Ryan Connor will not waste 1 minute firing you.
There's oil out there. Barrels and barrels of it.
Max Decker doesn't think so.
Max Decker is wrong. And within a month, I'm going to prove it.
I'll spend whatever money it takes.
World Oil bought the mineral rights to the Harper place 2 days ago.
Justin didn't waste any time, did he?
He also bought most of the adjoining property to the Marshall land and the Harper property.
Okay. Suppose I make a deal with Justin. Suppose I let him drill on our land in exchange for the Harper mineral rights. You think he'd go for a deal like that?
There isn't any oil on the Harper land, he'd be a fool not to.
Good.
On the other hand, you'd be a fool to make the deal.
Well, suppose I do make the deal. Buy the mineral rights to the Harper land, and then don't let World Oil on my property.
Can't do that. It's illegal.
What could World Oil do to us? Sue?
It's exactly what they would do.
How long could you detain it in court, Daddy?
If Justin can con World Oil, why can't we con Justin?
Because no matter how ruthless Justin's motives might be, they are legal. What you're talking about is not.
Can you slip a loophole into a contract like that so I can break the deal legally?
Max, I'm corporate lawyer for World Oil.
You're also my daddy.
What you're asking is not fair.
All I'm asking is a chance to save our land. Now, if I can't do it legally, I'll do it illegally. I don't care.
And neither do I.
All right, now calm down, the both of you, and give Stryker a chance to come up with a solution that'll be satisfactory to everyone.
I don't think it's possible. Is it, Stryker?
Are you sure there's no oil on the Harper place?
Stryker, I have a prospect report done in 1955 that says there's no oil. Now, I'd bet my last dollar that that survey's right.
Then what difference does it make? Let Justin put the rigs up. There's no oil. They have to come back down.
But Stryker,
I know. You hate to see rigs on grazing land, but have a little patience, Max. If there's no oil, Justin might win the first battle. You are going to win the war.
Please, let me go. I'll do anything you say.
I told you to shut up!
I'll forget I ever saw you. If I ever find the key, I'll send it to you. I promise. I'll do anything. Please. Just let me go.
Elena, you either shut your mouth or I'll shut it for you. You hear me?
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Alex, darling, I don't know if you can understand me. Hear me. But I love you. And I know you can sense that love somehow. Use all my love, darling, to give you strength. I'm going to get you through this, Alex.
Hello, Iris. What?
Darling, you are a million miles away.
Sorry.
I brought you the evening paper. I thought you might like to see it.
Thank you.
And I also brought you this. Everybody's been talking about how good it is.
A murder mystery? Pardon my humor, Paige. It's been a little warped these days.
I understand, Dennis. You must be feeling a lot of anger and bitterness towards me right now.
Paige,
I mean, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have gotten involved in this mess in the first place.
Paige, did you tell Dad that you saw Mom at the coop the night I murdered Chris Shaw?
Please, let me go. I'll do anything you say.
I told you to shut up!
I'll forget I ever saw you. If I ever find the key, I'll send it to you. I promise. I'll do anything. Please, just let me go.
Elena, you either shut your mouth or I'll shut it for you. You hear me? Stupid. Real stupid.
No!
I got the girl with me. I got a gun pointed at her. We're coming in. Don't try and stop me.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
You still napping?
Yes.
You know, I'm worried about Rena. Just mention Jenny or the baby, she bursts into tears.
This has been a very emotional experience for her.
I didn't realize her and Jenny were such good friends.
They've become quite close lately. And with Max so upset about Justin's oil drilling scheme, well, I think it's just been too much for her to handle.
Rena's always been so strong.
A few hours sleep will help her.
I sure hope so. What do you think of Max's illegal plan to save his and the Harper land from the oil rigs?
I have a feeling those were Rena's ideas first.
Well, Justin's not going to find any oil in the Harper land. You bring in a dry well, the rigs will come down, the commotion will be over.
Well, that'll take several months at least.
Well, I don't know. If Justin wants to pay overtime, he could have equipment there by the end of the week.
I just hope Max can control that hot temper of his.
Rena's pretty hot under the collar about it, too.
I'm glad she's supporting Max in this.
That daughter of ours is full of surprises these days.
Darling, you didn't murder Chris Shaw.
You're avoiding my question, Paige. Now, you told me on the night of the murder you saw Mom's car coming out of the Coop parking lot. Now, I want to know if you told Dad the same thing.
Yes, I did.
How could you do that?
Because I'm sure that Elliot can help you, but only if he knows the whole truth,
I
Dennis.
thought I told you not to say anything to anyone.
I did it for you, darling.
Come on, that's exactly the kind of thing Mom would say if she was doing something behind my back.
Darling.
Why can't the two of you learn that I don't need that kind of help? I don't want that kind of help.
All right. I couldn't do what you wanted. Dennis, you were asking me to conceal evidence from a crime. Don't you see that every bit of evidence has to come out now in order to free you?
I'm not going to be free,
Yes, you
Paige.
are, Dennis. I don't believe you murdered Chris Shaw.
Oh, really? Well, who do you think did it, then? You think Mom did it?
I think Iris is capable of a lot more than you believe, especially when her family is concerned.
Now, you listen to me. Mom gave in to blackmail because she thought she was protecting the family name. She would pay to have someone silenced, but that's as far as she would go. She wouldn't kill anyone.
Even to protect...
Not even for that! You better believe that, Paige, because it's the truth.
But I'm not wrong about you. And I'm not going to quietly stand by and see you go to jail for a crime you didn't commit. Dennis, the last thing I wanted to do was upset you. I was just doing what I thought was right.
Look, I know that, Paige.
I'm just trying to make things easier for us. Please don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad, Paige. It's just that...
Just what?
That's something else has come to light, that's what.
New evidence?
Yes. New evidence.
What is it, Dennis?
I can't say. All I can say is that it involves Mom. And it doesn't look too good.
How is he?
The same.
I spoke with Dr. Douglas. He told me that Alex's condition had stabilized.
Yes. He told me that, too. Whatever that means.
Well, it's a good sign. Alex was critical when he was brought in. It means he's past the most dangerous point now.
It's all hospital double talk. To cover the fact that they can't do anything for him.
Well, they're doing what they can.
Are they?
Well, of course they are.
All I know is that my husband is lying there in that bed. He can't hear me. He can't speak to me. And he's been like that since they brought him in.
Well, recovery from a stroke can often be a very slow process.
Sometimes he opens his eyes, but only to stare straight ahead.
I know it's difficult.
No. No, you don't know. First I lost my son, and now...
You haven't lost Dennis.
Have you seen him?
Earlier today.
How is he?
That's why I'm here, Iris. I have to talk to you about Dennis.
Can't you tell me what it is that you found out?
No.
Well, who's told you about this new evidence?
Dad? Marky's on his way to the hospital to see Mom. He's probably there by now.
Wouldn't it make you feel a little bit better to talk about it, honey?
I can't, Paige.
All right. Whatever you think is best. Can I bring you, some more books the next time I come?
No, don't bother, Paige.
It's no bother.
I haven't been doing much reading lately.
Why's that?
I don't feel like it.
I know it's difficult passing the time, isn't it?
I spend most of my time sitting here staring at the walls, thinking.
About what?
Different things.
About us?
Sometimes.
I think about us all the time, Dennis. About what it's going to be like when you get out of here.
Paige,
It's going to be so different when you get home, darling.
Paige,
There aren't going to be any secrets anymore, ever. I promise. That's all in the past. We're going to have a wonderful future together.
I don't see any future at all for us, Paige.
Well, you're wrong, Dennis. Don't tell me I'm going to have to start believing for both.
Look, face it, I may not get out of this place.
You will. You will. Stryker is going to get you out of here.
The DA is pressing for a charge of first-degree murder, Paige.
But no decisions have been made, Dennis. That charge could be changed to manslaughter.
I could still go to jail for 10 years.
I don't believe for 1 minute that you are going to be sentenced to a prison term.
Look, Paige, this is...
All right,
not
all
going...
right. All right. Let's just suppose that the worst could happen. I'll still wait for you, darling.
No, Paige.
Yes. Yes, Dennis. And I'm going to do everything I can to get you out of jail as fast as possible. I'll come visit you.
Paige, that's no life for you.
But I'd have you. You are my life, Dennis.
You're wrong, Paige. I think you'd be better... I think you'd be much better off without me.
I don't like to leave Alex for long.
This won't take long.
Tell me, is Dennis all right?
Yes, all things considered.
Did he ask you to come here and speak to me?
No.
I see. Then I suppose he's still refusing to see me.
We didn't discuss it.
Oh.
We did talk about you, though.
Oh. Nothing good, I'm sure. Yes, the two of you would be in perfect agreement. Against me. I will never understand Dennis. After all I did for him, he turns on me.
Just what did you do for him, Iris?
Everything I could to protect him. You know that. When that dreadful Grishaw landed on my doorstep, I allowed myself to be threatened and blackmailed rather than have Dennis find out about his wife's pornographic film career.
Your only thought was to protect Dennis.
Yes. I was willing to pay $1 million so that he could be spared any kind of hurt.
And it didn't hurt you knowing that you could use that film to force Paige to leave Dennis.
If she really loved him, she would leave him of her own accord. She's brought nothing but disaster into his life.
That's not for you to judge. Dennis loves Paige.
He could never really love a tramp like that. A porno film star. And my son? It's too disgusting for words.
We all have our past indiscretions. Our little secrets.
Nothing compared to what that creature's done. Look, I'm not interested in wasting any more time talking about Paige, if that's what you came for.
No, Iris, it's not. I came here to talk about you.
What about me?
I'd like to know more about what you did to help Dennis the night Chris Shaw was murdered.
Elliot, how can you bring that up now? Here. I don't want to talk about it. I only want to forget.
All Dennis wants is to remember. You know, he still has no memory of actually killing that man.
Because he didn't kill him. Paige did.
I don't think so.
It's obviously Paige. She had the only real motive. She wanted that film, and she did what she had to do to get it back.
Well, that's how it looked at first. But the police won't buy that story anymore.
Because Dennis is protecting her.
Well, Dennis was the only other person in the office the night he was murdered. He was, wasn't he?
How would I know?
What if someone else had been there that night?
What are you getting at? Elliot, I know you too well. Why don't you just come right out and say what's on your mind?
All right. There was someone else in Chris Shaw's office the night he was murdered. And that someone was you, Iris.
What a dreadful thing to say to me. That's insane. Who put that idea into your head, Paige?
Iris, it's a fact. Don't deny it. I have evidence.
What evidence?
This. Your handkerchief with Chris Shaw's blood on it.
You just keep out of the way and the little girl won't get hurt. Look, you're not gonna get away with this. Well, we'll see about that.
He killed Bernie, Jeff. He'll kill me, too.
All right. All right, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm coming out, and I'm warning you, if you try anything, your little girlfriend here has sung her last song.
This is yours, isn't it?
How did you get that?
It was found in the pocket of your raincoat.
Vivian gave it to you.
I forced her. She would never have volunteered it.
I'd forgotten it was still in the coat.
Iris, did you kill Chris Shaw?
How can you even ask me such a thing?
Well, this makes it rather easy.
Put that thing away. It's horrible.
Answer my question. You were there the night Chris Shaw was murdered.
Well, that's obvious.
And you'd do anything to help Dennis.
Not murder.
No?
No, I did not kill that man.
If you didn't, and I'm still not certain that's true,
Elliot!
do you realize what you've done? You've done your son a great injustice.
I only wanted to help him,
By
Elliot.
destroying evidence? That is what you did, isn't it?
I didn't think of it like that at the time.
The blood on that handkerchief. Chris Shaw's, isn't it? Blood from the paperweight the police believe was used as the murder weapon. You used that handkerchief to wipe the fingerprints off that paperweight, didn't you? Didn't you?
All right, what if I did?
Do you realize that what you've done only makes Dennis look more guilty?
I realize it now. Stryker told me that the DA was charging Dennis with first-degree murder because the paperweight had been wiped clean.
First degree means life imprisonment.
But Stryker said that it wouldn't happen. He told me he was trying to get a reduced charge to manslaughter, and Dennis could get a lighter sentence, maybe even a suspended sentence.
Didn't he also tell you that he doesn't hold much hope for that happening? Not when it looks like Dennis deliberately tried to remove evidence from the scene of the crime.
Yes,
Oh,
but
for God's sake, Iris, why haven't you told Stryker the truth?
I've been afraid I would make things even worse for Dennis.
They couldn't be worse. Iris, you must go to Stryker. You have to tell him everything that happened that night.
right, honey?
I'm, worried about, Rena. She's still sleeping?
Well, she obviously needs the rest. You know, if I hadn't promised to wake her later, I'd let her sleep right through the night.
Maybe we should let her sleep.
No, she wants to visit Jenny.
Where's Max? Hospital?
Yes, but he'll be back for dinner.
You got more work to do?
Yes, but it can wait until later. Do you want to sit and talk?
No, I've got to do some work on Dennis Carrington case. I'll be up in the den.
You're not too optimistic about Dennis's case, are you?
Not at the moment.
Didn't the talk with Elliot help?
No, it didn't help solve the mystery. What's worse is I think Elliot's withholding information himself.
You know why?
The same reason Dennis, Iris, and Vivian won't give me any straight answers.
Do you think they're trying to protect Dennis?
Yes. Heaven knows who Dennis thinks he's trying to protect. Meanwhile, all this silence is hurting his case. I wish I could convince someone of that.
Get up. Get up and fight.
Never underestimate the kind of a soldier, Connor. You're not at war, Barrett. Stop fighting imaginary enemies.
I've seen enough, top of the world.
Stop punishing Ginny for falling in love with me. She stayed with you. She married you. You should have made it count.
Shut up.
I think you've lost her, Barrett. And it's your own fault.
I'll never lose, Ginny. I will never let her go when the baby comes.
I promise, Ginny, that I'd stay away from her and allow her to live her own life. But I'm not going to keep that promise anymore, Barrett. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to tell Ginny, I'm going to fight you for her. Because you just don't deserve her. I'm going to fight you. And I'm going to win.
You go near her again, Connor. And I'll kill you.
Were there any problems while I was gone, Alfredo?
No, Mrs. Carrington. The lunch crowd was small today.
Good. Better check with the chef to see what he's doing for dinner with that private party tonight, all right?
Certainly. I'll take care of it.
If you need me, I'll be at the bar. Wally? Scotch, please, okay? No, on second thought, make it a double.
I know the feeling.
Thanks, Wally. Well, hello, Ryan.
Hello, Paige. I guess you heard about Jenny, that she lost the baby.
Yeah, Barrett called me.
Did Barrett say how Jenny was feeling?
I don't think that's any concern of yours, Ryan. I think that's between Barrett and his wife.
Well, Jenny and I were engaged to be married not too long ago, in case you forgot.
Oh, I haven't forgotten. I'd like to, though. And I think you should, too.
Never.
Look, whether you like it or not, Ryan, Ginny chose Barrett. And he loves her, and he's trying to make a go of this marriage.
Oh, he is, huh?
Yes, he is. My brother went through 5 years of hell in that Cambodian prison camp. And the last thing he needs to do is go through another kind of hell here at home.
Well, Barrett happens to be making life miserable for Ginny.
Oh, no,
don't you
no.
understand?
You're the one that's making their lives miserable. A living hell. You're interfering. Trying to keep a marriage apart. It's trying to succeed. Why didn't you just leave town when you were going to before? If everybody would just leave them alone, maybe they could do it.
What's eating you, Paige? How's Dennis?
How do you think he is? Sitting in jail, arrested for a crime he didn't commit?
Then you don't think he killed Chris Shaw?
I know he didn't.
Well, I admire you for standing by him in spite of all the evidence.
I think I'd rather finish this alone in my office.
What's your hurry? Hope you're not running off.
Rena, honey, you have to stop making those accusations.
It's true, Mama. I saw what he did to her, the way he treated her.
If he treated her as badly as you say, she would have left him.
Mama, she felt an obligation to him. And of course she did. Barrett kept telling her over and over again how he survived those 5 years in prison because of her, because he knew that she was going to be waiting for him.
And I'm sure that's one of the reasons he did survive.
That's no reason for her to give up her life for him. It's not her problem that he was captured.
Rena, whether you agree with it or not, it was Ginny's decision.
Well, then Barrett should have been grateful. But no, he had to make her feel guilty because she fell in love with Ryan. Mama, that woman did everything in her power to make that marriage work. And what did Barrett do in his gratitude? He just tore her up, little by little, bit by
Rena,
bit.
Rena, stop this. Now, this isn't good for you or for Ginny. And taking your anger out on Barrett isn't going to solve anything.
I'm just trying to tell you what the problem is.
But, honey, it's not your problem. This is something that Ginny and Barrett have to deal with.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I am not going to stand by and watch Barrett kill Ginny, too. I am not going to smile and pretend that nothing happened, pretend that Barrett is not crazy.
No, Rena,
because he is
that's
crazy.
Stop this. Now, sit down. Sweetheart. Now, listen to me. Ginny asked for your help, and you gave it to her. You did everything you could for her.
I didn't do enough.
Dr. Lopez, 96. Dr. Lopez,
She lost her baby.
It's possible she would have lost the baby anyway. You know she had trouble before.
Mama, the baby.
Honey. Sweetheart, I'm as sad about this as you are. But it's over. And Ginny has to deal with this in her own way. And it's going to be very difficult for her. Now, your attitude toward Barrett, it's only going to make matters worse. What Ginny needs now is kindness and loving and understanding, not anger and resentment.
Barrett is dangerous, Mama. He's unstable. There's no telling what he'll do to Ginny.
Honey, whatever your opinion is of Barrett, you must not express it to Ginny. She's got to sort out her own feelings, and well, whatever decision she makes, it has to be hers. She has to make it on her own without any interference, even from well-meaning friends. Now, if you really care for Ginny, back away. Give her a chance to resolve her problems with Barrett.
I don't think she can handle him on her own. He's just too jealous, Mama.
Then Ryan will have to be the one to help her.
Oh, sweetheart, your timing is perfect.
All done?
Yep, how about you?
Well, I've done about all I can do. Remind me tomorrow to pick up something from Hallie.
Oh, that's right. Next week is her anniversary.
Any gift ideas?
Not offhand, but I'll be happy to go shopping with you. Or for you.
Maybe we can go tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. I'll get it.
Iris. Vicky, hello. Please.
Vicky, we apologize for not calling.
No, that's all right. Please come on in. Iris, is Alex... Oh, his condition is the same.
Is Stryker home?
Yes, he's inside. Come on in. Stryker, Iris and Elliot are here.
Iris.
Hello, Stryker.
Everything all right at the hospital?
Oh, yes. But if you have a moment, I'd like to talk to you.
I've got time.
Well, if you'll excuse me, Rena's upstairs. I want to check on her.
Can I, fix you something?
Not for me, thank you.
Thank you. Well?
Iris, would you like to talk to Stryker by yourself?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
I'll see myself out.
Iris, what's going on?
I have a confession to make.
That's as far as you go.
Get back, Jim!
Back! Look, man, I'm warning you. If you hurt her...
No!
I'm warning you, man.
Jim!
Keep away!
Do as he says, Jim!
I'm on my way to the office, Peter.
Drinking alone? That's not very good for you.
You'll have to excuse me. I have a lot of work to do.
Come on, surely you have time to have just one drink.
I
with me.
can't.
Good hostess always makes time for old friends.
All right. One drink.
Bourbon water on the side.
Peter, I'd like you to meet Ryan Connor. Ryan Connor, this is Peter Parnell.
How do you do? Nice to meet you.
Ryan is with World Oil.
Oh, really?
Peter Parnell. That name seems to ring a bell for some reason.
Well, it should. My partner, Jim Lawrence, and I do a lot of business with World Oil.
Oh, of course, Lawrence Petroleum.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I've met Jim Lawrence several times, but I've never seen you around here.
Well, I've been spending most of my time at our headquarters down in Galveston until recently.
Oh, I see.
Ryan is Alex Wheeler's executive assistant. He's taken over World Oil since Alex has been ill.
That's strictly a temporary appointment.
Well, I hope we find some time to talk. I'm going to be in town fairly regularly now.
And I'm sure we will.
It's a shame about Alex. How's he doing?
Well, he's out of danger. We just don't know the extent of the damages.
Jim's going to be very upset to hear about his illness there. Close friends.
I know, one of his old golfing cronies, Alex told me. Well, I better be going. Got some dinner to prepare back home.
Well, nice meeting you.
Good meeting you, Pete.
So, you didn't tell Mr. Executive Assistant about our little secret?
What now, Dad? Well, it's up to the police and the court. Iris will have to make a formal statement saying that she found the paperweight next to you, thought it was the murder weapon, and wiped it clean with that handkerchief.
What did Mom think she could prove by hiding things this long?
Iris thought that finding the paperweight next to you was proof that you had, in fact, murdered Chris Shaw. Dennis, you have to try to understand your mother's motives, no matter how unfounded they were.
Dad, what I understand is that Mom has made a mess of things once again. Well, I guess this proves I killed Chris Shaw, doesn't it?
It proves no such thing,
Dad,
Dennis.
come on.
Dennis, until you actually remember killing that man, I refuse to believe you capable of such an act, drunk or sober.
Dad, I just wish I could remember everything that happened that night, that's all.
You will.
But something very important happened, and I can't remember it.
It will come back to you in time.
Maybe. Only I'm not sure it's a memory I want.
Ricky!
saw me because I entered Shaw's office through a back door. And there he was, lying on the floor.
Already dead. Dennis?
He was lying right next to Shaw's body, unconscious.
Where was the paperweight?
On the floor.
Where on the floor?
Next to Dennis's hand.
Why did you pick it up?
Just an instinctive reaction. It was covered with blood, and there was blood on Shaw's body. I just picked up the paperweight and took out my handkerchief and wiped it clean. I didn't think.
Where did you put the handkerchief when you finished?
I stuffed it into my raincoat pocket.
Where did you put the paperweight down?
Near Chris Shaw's body.
All right, Iris. Tell me again why you picked it up and why you wiped it off.
Instinct.
The instinctive need to protect your son because you thought he had just murdered Chris Shaw.
No.
Iris.
Oh, all right. I don't know. So many thoughts went through my mind in those few seconds. Maybe I did think for a moment that Dennis was guilty, but just for an instant.
Why didn't you tell me this in the hospital when we spoke of Dennis?
I was so upset about Alex and afraid for Dennis. I thought the paperweight lying so near his hand really made him look guilty.
Still been better if the court and police had known about this right away.
Elliot made me realize that today. I was only trying to help my son. And now Elliot tells me I may be responsible for his being sent to prison for life. Stryker, please, you must help Dennis.
Can't make any promises.
I'll do anything.
Well, the first thing you do is tell the DA everything you know, and then if he can substantiate your story, I may be able to plea bargain for a charge of manslaughter. And having this as evidence might help us.
Will Dennis get a suspended sentence if the charge is manslaughter?
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be lighter, but, Iris, you better prepare yourself. You can be arrested as an accessory after the fact.
No, I didn't tell him about our little secret.
Well, it's very smart. It wouldn't serve any purpose for anyone to know that I was in Alex Wheeler's office the night he had his stroke.
What difference does that make, Peter? You told me you had nothing to do with what happened to Alex.
Other people might not see it that way.
Was Alex all right when you left his office?
I told you he was.
I know what you told me.
You don't believe me?
I know you, Peter. And I know you wouldn't tell me unless it suited your purpose. And Alex is a very special...
Now, don't start that old sad story about a wonderful human being Alex Wheeler
If
is.
I find out that
Paige,
anything happened...
don't make any threats that you can't carry out.
If I find out that you were responsible...
You'll what?
I'll go to Ryan Connor.
No. I wouldn't advise that. Not unless you want your darling husband to hear all about your activities in Hollywood.
Dennis already knows about the film that I made, Peter.
Oh, but I'll bet he hasn't heard about all of your other activities.
And just what do you think you would gain by telling Dennis that?
No. Don't get me wrong, Paige. I have no intention of telling Dennis anything. Unless I have to.
You getting a lot of reading done?
Some?
How's this?
I don't know, Dad. I haven't read it yet. Paige brought it by. She came by earlier.
I should really stop by the club to see how she's getting along.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd look forward to seeing you. You know how much she enjoys seeing you, Dad.
How did your visit with her go?
Well, it's not easy to talk here, especially when she starts going on about our future together.
Well, that's natural enough. Why does it bother you?
Well, face it, Dad, I may not get out of this place.
That's not true. Paige and Stryker and I are going to work to see that it isn't true.
Wish I had your optimism.
How do you feel about Paige now?
I must have asked myself that question 100 times or more since I've been in here. I don't know, Dad. I have mixed feelings.
She loves you, Dennis.
I know.
Well, it'll take time for the both of you to work out the problems you're having. But you'll make it, I know.
Maybe. Only I'm not sure it's worth the effort.
Something is really eating at you.
Yes, it is, Dad.
Well, tell me. Is it the film Paige made?
Yes, it still bothers me, Dad.
But I thought you'd gotten over that.
I thought so, too. Maybe I was wrong.
Well, Dennis, we all have things in our
Oh,
past.
Dad, come on. I don't expect Paige to be perfect. It's not just the film.
It's what?
It's the thought of her... It's the thought of her lying there in another man's arms that way. Tears me up inside.
Does it?
I'll never be able to hold her again without thinking
Oh,
of...
Dennis, you'll get over that.
Will I, Dad? I'm not too sure.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
The police will arrest me?
You committed a crime, Iris. Wiping off the murder weapon makes you an accessory after the fact.
But Stryker, I did...
You tried to assist Dennis in avoiding arrest. The law regards this criminally punishable.
If I don't tell the police that I'm the one who wiped the fingerprints off that paperweight, then they'll continue to believe that Dennis is trying to cover up?
That's right. That's what the DA believes now. That's why he's pushing for an indictment of first-degree murder.
If I do confess, will Dennis still be charged with first-degree murder?
No, it'll probably be a manslaughter charge. But Iris, it's possible that you'll have to go to prison, too.
I have no choice. I can't allow my son to be charged with murder. Stryker, I want you to call the district attorney immediately.
quitting time.
Not for me, it's not. I got all this filing to do.
Why don't you leave that till tomorrow morning?
I hate to leave work undone.
Come on, Ashley, I want to get out of here.
So go on. Who's stopping you?
I want you to come with me.
Justin, we just had a late lunch.
You getting tired of me already, is that it?
No.
Then come with me to supper. I have a very, very special place in mind.
Where?
The Marshall Ranch.
Fine.
Ricky!
Look, I'm gonna get some help.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
Well, looks like nobody's home.
I still think we should have called before we came out here.
Oh, what for?
Listen, my mama would die if I brought somebody to dinner unannounced, and I bet your grandmother's gonna feel the same way.
Well, with all the trouble with Ginny and the baby, I think Grandma would welcome a little company.
Well, I sure hope you're right.
Ashley, I am always right. Sit right down here. Now, Grandma doesn't drink, but Barry does. There's got to be some good booze around here somewhere. No. Aha. Ashley, what do you feel about the old place?
Oh, it's really, really lovely. You know, I just didn't expect it to be, well, I just thought it'd be more rustic.
As soon as I finish making our drinks, I'll take you on the grand tour.
It's so quiet and peaceful out here. I really don't see how you could ever leave it.
Well, peace and quiet's all right for a day or two. Then it starts to drive me crazy.
You going off and driving race cars. I think you're crazy anyway.
Well, I got that out of my system now. I'm ready to settle down, be an oil man.
Well, don't dwell on that subject. Your grandmother won't invite us for dinner for sure.
Don't you worry about Grandma. I can handle her.
But what is she like? I mean, well, I'm just not sure I'm going to know what to say to her.
Ashley, she's very easy to talk to. Just relax, have a good time.
I am a nervous wreck.
This'll take care of that.
But what does she like? Horses, birds, flowers, what?
Anything that has to do with nature. I don't know, ranching, furniture. She's an expert on antique furniture. She does the crossword puzzle. She reads the Bible twice a day. Would you stop worrying? She is gonna love you.
Where's Max and Rita's cabin?
Just up the road. Would you like to pay them a visit?
No. I think I'd rather stay right here.
Jeb, I want to be with Ricky.
Elena, you can't.
No, he needs me.
Hey, he's gonna be all right.
Well, then why won't they let me see him?
Because he's in surgery right now. You'll get to see him later.
No, I want to be with my brother, Jeb.
I know you do. I know you do. Listen, Elena, come on. It's been a real rough day on you. I know that, but it's over now.
I wish I could believe that. I wish I could.
Listen, I found you on the boat, didn't I? Now, I'm telling you that Ricky is gonna be all right. I promise you that.
When I saw you in the doorway on the ship, I was so afraid.
You know, Elena, you saved my life.
No, if it weren't for me, you never would have been in any trouble. And if it weren't for me, Ricky wouldn't be in any trouble now.
You had no way of knowing that this guy Joe was after you? Yeah, I got her as soon as I could.
No.
It's gonna be all right, darling. It's gonna be all right. Huh?
Ricky has been shot at, and they just took him into surgery.
I know, honey. Look, don't you worry about Ricky, huh? Don't you worry about him, because everything's gonna be fine, I'm sure, huh? That's right. That's what I've been trying to tell her. Hey, what about this sailor guy? Did they catch him? No, they haven't.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Mrs. Wheeler? Mr. Billman? This is Judd Rayburn.
We've met. Mr. Rayburn's the assistant district attorney in charge of this case. Now,
have a seat.
Mrs. Wheeler came to me tonight with some information
My
which...
son did not wipe the fingerprints off the paperweight which killed Chris Shaw. I did.
Iris.
Although
yeah.
Mr. Bellman is representing my son, I withheld the information from him in the mistaken belief that I was protecting Dennis. It was wrong. I admit that, and I apologize.
Iris,
no,
please.
please, Stryker. I want to set the record straight. I went to Chris Shaw's office, found him dead, and found my son lying unconscious on the floor next to him. I cleaned the paperweight, dragged Dennis out of the office, and took him home with me.
You knew your son was at Shaw's office?
No, I guessed.
Why?
Tell him the whole truth, Iris.
Dennis discovered that his wife had made a pornographic film, which Chris Shaw produced.
Did Dennis know that Shaw was blackmailing you?
Yes. He was very distraught. He started drinking, and he threatened to go to Shaw's office and settle things with him.
Well, please go on, Mrs. Wheeler.
I became worried when I called Dennis's apartment, and there was no answer. So I decided to pay a visit on Mr. Shaw myself, and that's when I found Dennis.
And that's when you destroyed any evidence you thought might connect Dennis to the murder?
Yes. You must understand, Dennis couldn't have wiped off those fingerprints. He was so drunk he couldn't even stand up alone.
Do you think your son killed Chris Shaw?
If he did, it was not willful or deliberate. It was an accident.
Will you allow Mrs. Wheeler to make a statement for the record?
Yes.
I'll ask a clerk to come in.
Your timing's perfect, Stryker.
What does that mean?
Mr. Rayburn thinks we're making a grandstand play for the grand jury. Mother confesses to save son from life imprisonment.
I'm telling the truth. He doesn't believe me.
Mrs. Wheeler, did your maid see you wipe off those fingerprints?
No.
But she did help you get Dennis out of the office and back to your house.
Yes.
Because you ordered her to?
Yes.
But you didn't tell her what had taken place in the office before she got there.
I told her as little as possible.
You have anything more to add?
No.
Okay. As soon as that statement is typed, you can sign it.
Is it possible to arrange bail for my son now?
We'll see, Mrs. Wheeler. We'll see.
I thought bail could be arranged for a manslaughter charge.
Well, first, the DA has to decide whether to reduce the charge.
Well, if it's up to that man, I think we've wasted our time.
Oh, I don't think so. I believe you.
Oh, honey, I was just about to come up and check on you.
Oh, I didn't mean to sleep so long.
Feeling better? Why don't you go back to bed?
I've got to go to the hospital. Got to see Jenny.
Will you have something to eat first?
Thank you. I'm not hungry, but I would like some tea.
Okay. I'll go to the hospital with you.
You afraid I'll run into Barrett and create a scene?
Will you?
Don't worry. I'll stay clear of him. Person I really want to see is Courtney. Maybe she could do something for him.
Oh, Rena, honey, you can't go to Courtney and tell her you think her brother's crazy.
I wasn't exactly going to put it that way.
I think Ginny should be the one to talk to Courtney.
She was planning to, until Barrett caused her to lose her baby.
Now, you don't know that Barrett caused Ginny to lose the baby.
Yes, I do. His behavior caused her a great deal of strain. Then he locked her in the cellar, slapped her, knocked her to the ground when he found her talking to Ryan.
The baby was in trouble from the beginning, honey. Why can't you accept that?
Wish I could. Just can't.
Are you pregnant?
No. But I have been thinking about having a baby. It's a funny thing. Max wants a baby more than anything else in the world.
But you're afraid?
I'm terrified.
Miss Decker,
How is my brother?
we're getting ready to operate.
You said that earlier.
We've been trying to locate the exact position of the bullet fragments.
Is Ricky gonna be okay?
Your brother's lost a great deal of blood. As far as we can tell, the bullet is lodged in the upper back near one of the thoracic vertebrae. The bullet punctured his right lung, but fortunately missed the heart.
I just want to know, is Ricky gonna be all right?
We're going to do the best we can.
Look, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine.
Your brother is a young man and in excellent physical shape that will certainly stand in his favor. If there are any further complications, I'll have a nurse notify you. Otherwise, I'll talk to you after surgery.
Oh, hey, thank you very much, Doctor. We appreciate everything you've been doing. Thank you. Well, now, I thought the doctor sounded real optimistic, didn't he, huh?
Yeah, he did.
Not to me, he didn't.
Oh, don't look now, but I think her trouble's just starting here.
What are you talking about?
Well, I spent 3 years in Huntsville. One thing I learned is to spot a cop a mile away, and here they come. Now, you be careful what you say, all right? I gotta go make a phone call.
Miss Decker? I'm Detective Michaels, New York City Police Department. This is my partner here, Detective Phillips. We'd like to ask you some questions.
I was amazed at all that green grass and all those pretty flowers.
What'd you expect?
Well, nothing as beautiful as this.
Well, when you come to the ranch from the north, there's a field of wildflowers that'll take your breath away.
Consider the lily, how it grows. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, even Solomon in all his glory was never arrayed like one of these. You know, Justin was showing me your house. I sure do admire your taste in furniture.
Thank you.
Oh, especially that rocker in the living room. That must have been in your family for years.
No, only 10 years. Ginny picked it up in an antique shop.
Well, I do love a good rocker, especially when I work my crossword puzzles.
Justin, are you still going to carry out that fool notion of yours to drill for oil on the Harper place?
Yes, Grandma, but I don't think we have to talk about that right now, do we?
Now, does that mean you'll be coming out here more frequently?
Yes, ma'am. Why? Would you object?
No, but I have a feeling that Barrett might not make you feel very welcome.
Well, I talked to Barrett at the hospital this afternoon. He sounded pretty good shape.
He's still in shock over the baby.
Yes, I imagine he is.
You know, I was so sorry to hear about Jenny. When will she be getting out of the hospital?
In a day or so.
Well, you know, I've heard so much about her. I would just love to meet her.
Well, maybe, when she's feeling better.
Oh, I would just love that.
Where's Steve, Grandma?
Oh, he's down at the stable with Guy. I'd better go call him to come on up for supper.
Well, why don't you let Ashley and me go on down and get him? I'm sure Ashley would like to see more of the ranch.
Well, don't be gone too long.
Well, Justin, maybe you'd like me to stay and help you with something?
Thank you. I can manage.
Well, Grandma, what do you think?
Justin, are you gonna marry that girl?
Well, we're just friends, Grandma. I just want you to like Ashley as much as you like Rena.
That'll take some doing.
Rena, honey, why don't you make an appointment with your doctor? And then you'd know what chance you have of having a healthy baby.
I think I will.
You know, just because Jenny had trouble doesn't mean you will, too.
I know that, Mother.
How long have you been thinking about having a baby?
Not too long. A couple of weeks. Are you surprised?
No. Have you talked about this to Max?
No, I haven't. I wanted to make sure that I could deal with it before I did. I don't think I can.
Sweetheart. I'll help you.
Do you think I'm being childish or selfish?
No. No. You're not the first woman to have those fears. I believe there's a way to overcome them.
I'm positive that Barrett had a lot to do with Jenny losing her baby. I'm so afraid for her, Mother.
Rena, I want you to do me one favor. Allow Jenny to work things out with Barrett on her own.
Suppose she can't. Then what happens? Suppose Barrett hurts her again.
Barrett can't do anything to hurt her while she's in the hospital. And when she goes back to the ranch, she'll have Kate and Steve and Jeb.
Mother, all those people were there before. That didn't stop Barrett from hurting Ginny.
Rena, you have to back off. Please. Because if you don't, Barrett will continue to blame you for all the trouble. And that's not good for Ginny.
If I see that Ginny is in any trouble,
all right. Then you can help her.
I wonder how Elena is doing. Wish I could do something for her.
Now, you say you turned around and this sailor, Joe, was missing.
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't mind, I'd like Miss Decker to answer.
Well, look, man, I was there. I saw the whole thing happen, all right?
I know, Mr. Hampton, but Miss Decker was kidnapped, and I'd just like to get her side of the story first, all right?
Yes, he was gone.
Now, let me get this straight. You say you knew this Joe from before, from Houston.
Yes.
And in Houston, he drugged you and kidnapped you.
Yes.
Yet, you failed to report any of this to the authorities.
Why do I have to keep going over this?
Well, you have to understand, Miss Decker, that your story is just a little bit hard to swallow.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to say you don't believe her?
I'm trying to say that I think it's very strange that this young lady was abducted twice and no one went to the authorities.
Because the authorities, as you put it there, will not do anything unless somebody is missing for 24 hours, right?
Jim, I want to go. I want to go see Ricky.
Now, Miss Decker, the hospital staff knows that we're here, so if there's any news of your brother, they'll show up.
Yeah, but I already told you everything that I know.
I know, Miss Decker, but it just doesn't seem to fit together.
Hey, her brother was shot. What doesn't fit?
I'll ask the questions, Mr. Hampton, okay? Thank you. Now then.
Look, don't you think she's gone through just a little bit too much today? Huh?
I could ask you to come down to the station if you think that would be better, Mr. Hampton.
I'll tell you what I think would be better. It would be better if you would just get off her back for now.
No, it's all right, Jim.
Hey, come on. You shouldn't have to go through this right now.
I just want to get this over with.
Fine. Now, you say this Joe and his boss were looking for something they thought you had.
Yes, a key.
Key? What kind of key?
I don't know. It was just a key. I thought that a friend of mine had given it to me.
Bernie Stokes? That's the name you gave us before.
Yes, that's right.
And you don't have this key?
No! I don't know anything about a key.
That will be $2.50 for the first 3 minutes, please.
Hello?
Hey, sugar darling, you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Hi, honey.
I hope I didn't wake you.
No, I was just watching myself some TV. Hey, it's kind of late for you to be up, ain't it?
Yeah, I know, but I guess I'm not tired yet. Feeling pretty lonesome without you.
I know. I can't wait to get home, honey. I got so much to tell you about things been happening up here.
Honey, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from a hospital in New York.
Well, is everything all right? Why are you calling from a hospital?
I'm fine, sugar. I'm fine. It's just Elena. She ran into a little problem here.
Well, what happened to her?
It's a long story, honey. I really can't get into it over the phone.
Village, you're right. You tell me. Is she all right?
Yeah, she will be.
Well, what do you mean she will be?
Listen, Nita, I really can't get into it right now. Now, you're just going to have to trust me, all right? Everything's
going to be fine.
Honey, you got...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you all upset like this. It's just, I wanted to talk to you so bad, I probably shouldn't have even called you at all.
Are you sure that Elena's all right?
Yeah, honey, she's going to be fine, really. Now, I'm going to be back tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you about this whole thing, okay? We'll talk it all over. I just wanted to call and check on you is all.
Well, is Lena coming back with you?
Well, yeah, she might, and then again, she and Jeb might stay up here a couple of days with Ricky.
Well, Ricky, now what's wrong with Ricky?
Oh, look, honey, I'm sorry I brought this whole thing up.
That'll be $1.50 for the next 3 minutes.
Now, look, Nita, I can't talk anymore, honey. I don't
got any more change, all right? Now, I want to see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Hey, is Billy Joe Jr. okay?
Well, he misses you about as much as I do.
Oh, I sure do love you, sugar bums.
I love you too, babe.
Hey, now, I'm going to be back tomorrow, all right? Now, don't you worry, you hear?
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye, Nita. You're gonna be all right, Elena. This here key's gonna take care of all of us.
You wanna go back to reception area?
Yeah, in a minute.
You all right?
Jeb?
Yeah.
Do you think that Joe got away?
Listen, I want you to forget about that, okay?
Jeb, I can't forget about it. He was going to kill me. And he would have killed you, too.
Well, he didn't.
He was shot.
Look, you know, for all we know, the guy probably fell overboard.
Yeah, but what if he didn't?
Elena, he knows that you don't have the key. I mean, you said that yourself. And he also knows that you've been here with the police. So he is not going to try and bother you again.
Yeah, but what happens if he comes back to Houston?
He's not going to do that.
Yeah, but what if he does?
If he does, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be there with you. Okay?
Jeb, I get so frightened when I think of what would have happened if you hadn't found me.
Elaine, you know something? You did something real smart. I mean, when you left that bracelet there in the shape of an S.
I thought it was smart, too, until I found out that Skip was just a phony name that Joe had given me.
But that didn't matter, because we knew it was the guy from the coup.
Jeb, hold me, please. Hold me.
Everything's gonna be all right. I promise you.
Can I fix you something to drink?
No, thank you.
Well, I think I'm going to have something.
Vivian, I've never seen you have a drink before.
That's because I've never had a drink before, except beer. Whenever Mrs. Wheeler's upset, she always heads for the cognac.
I think everything is going to be all right, Vivian.
How can you say that? You were even married to Mrs. Wheeler at one time. You should know what she's like.
Yes, I do know what she's like.
I can't drink that. I'm just going to have to be nervous. Mr. Carrington, I should never have given you that handkerchief.
Now, Vivian, you did the right thing.
Oh, Mrs. Wheeler's not going to think that I did the right thing. She's going to be very upset with me, Mr. Carrington. She might not forgive me. I think I'm going to try to have this drink.
No, Vivian. Vivian, here. Come here. Now, sit down.
I can't sit down.
Vivian, what Iris did was wrong. Wiping the fingerprints off that paperweight. Even she will have to see that.
She won't see it.
Vivian, by removing the evidence, Mrs. Wheeler only made Dennis look more guilty. Because of what she did, Dennis could have been sentenced to life imprisonment.
I know that.
And Mrs. Wheeler was also wrong not to allow you to come forward immediately about having driven Dennis home from the coop the night of the murder.
I'm not so sure I would have come forward anyway, no matter what Mrs. Wheeler might have said.
I know, Vivian. When Dennis told me he was turning himself in, I urged him to wait, to think it over. But I was wrong. We were all wrong. If we truly believe in Dennis's innocence, then we have to be completely open now about everything that happened that night.
I agree. I'm just not sure Mrs. Wheeler is going to see it that way. Hello, Mrs. Wheeler.
Hey, look who's here.
Max! Oh, Max!
Listen, are you all right?
Okay, but Ricky, Max,
I know about Ricky. I talked to one of the nurses.
he's been in surgery for such a long time.
I know, but those things, they take time. Are you sure you're all right? You're not hurt or anything?
No, I'm okay. They scared me half to death, but they didn't hurt me, not physically. How did you get here? I mean, how did you find out about Ricky and me?
Well, I read a review of your act in one of the New York newspapers, and I decided to call you.
But how did you find us here?
Well, I got your hotel phone number from Aunt Maggie, and I called. Finally got Billy Joe to admit that you were missing.
Billy Joe didn't tell me that you called.
Yeah, I know, but because I didn't know if I'd be able to get a flight to New York tonight.
Max, if Ricky dies, I'll never forgive myself.
Don't even think that,
I
Lena.
can't help it, Max. Ricky is the only one in this family that you really love, and if you lose him...
We are not going to lose him, Elena. And he's not the only one I love. I love you, too.
Honey, home.
Stryker. Max just called from New York. He said Elena's fine, but Ricky's been shot and he's in surgery.
What the devil happened?
I don't know. Rena didn't get all the details. Max didn't want to stay on the phone too long. He wanted to get back to Elena. Hi, Daddy.
Oh, honey, Mother just told me about Max's call.
Yes, Daddy.
Are you sure you don't want me to go to the hospital with you?
No, I'll be all right. I want you to stay here and have dinner with Daddy.
Why don't you go and have dinner with us?
I'm not hungry. Since Max is going to be in New York tonight, I'd like to stay here rather than go to the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, I won't be long.
Bye, honey. Bye. Well, how did it go with Iris?
About as well as could be expected.
Tell me all about it.
Well, Iris told the police everything she told me and a few things that she didn't tell me about. I wish she had told me about Chris Shaw blackmailing her. Could have all been avoided.
You think you're going to be able to keep Dennis out of prison?
I don't know. I hope so. I'm going to talk to the DA tomorrow. Maybe we can work things out. That's if Iris doesn't pull any more surprises on me.
How did things go with Stryker?
I told him everything.
Well, I think that's very wise.
He took me to the police.
Mrs. Wheeler, please don't be mad at me for giving that handkerchief to Mr. Carrington.
I am mad, Vivian, but not at you. I'm mad at myself for having been so foolish.
You weren't foolish.
Oh, yes, I was. I made things worse for Dennis. I see that now. I should have encouraged him to go to the police immediately.
I guess we were all too concerned about Dennis that way.
Did the police believe what you told them?
There's a man from the DA's office there, Mr. Rayburn. I don't think he believed me at all.
Yes, but Stryker believed you.
Yes.
Well, that's important.
What's going to happen now, Mrs. Wheeler?
I don't know. Suppose I could go to jail.
To jail?
It's possible.
Why?
For concealing evidence. But Stryker doesn't think that will happen.
But if Stryker says that, then he's probably right.
You're not mad at me for what I did?
No. I only wish you'd done it sooner. I wish I'd done it myself. And I apologize.
What for?
For having dragged you into this terrible mess.
Oh, Mrs. Wheeler, I'd do anything for you. You know that.
Yes. I do know that.
And this key, you don't know what it's for or why those men were so anxious to find it?
No, I have no idea. I kept telling them that.
Are you sure those guys really wanted to kill you?
I know they would have.
What about now?
Not sure.
Listen, maybe you should come out to the ranch and stay for a couple of weeks. Jeb is staying at our house right now, but he could go back up to the Marshall Ranch. And, hey, listen, maybe you could go back up to the Marshall house yourself, too. Maybe that'd be even better.
Oh, Grandma Kate wouldn't want me there, not after all the trouble I've gotten into.
Now, that's not true. She understands you maybe better than anyone. Well, anyone except Rena.
How is Rena?
She's okay. She's upset about Ginny.
Oh, Ginny. Jeb is trying to reach Ginny right now by phone. I wonder if he's going to be able to talk to her.
Well, if she's sleeping, the hospital will take a message, and at least she'll know that he was thinking about her.
Jeb. He's been through so much, and now Ginny.
I hated telling him about Ginny losing the baby, but I didn't have much choice.
I wonder if something's happened to Ricky. It's been so long, Max.
Listen, if anything had happened, a doctor or a nurse, they would have come out to tell us. They know where we are. Listen, don't cry, honey.
Max, I have made such a mess of things. And I've hurt so many people. I guess you were right. That's what I get for chasing rainbows.
You found Jeb. Maybe you'll turn out okay after all.
sure does admire Max and Rena, doesn't he?
Oh, when Barrett was in the prison camp for 5 years, nobody even knew he was alive. Max did a lot of the fathering. Rena let him do things that Ginny wouldn't even allow. Eating cake just before dinner. Things like that. So, Steve thinks Rena is really super.
Well, that's an opinion shared by most of the Marshall men.
And the Marshall women, too. Tell me, Ashley, did you have a nice day?
Nerve-wracking, but nice. Despite the fact that I think your grandmother would just as soon King Kong be sitting at her table as me.
Well, it takes a while for Grandma to warm up to people. She still hasn't warmed up to me, but I'm trying every day.
Well, I wonder why all of a sudden you're so interested in becoming a part of the family. I thought that you didn't care any more about them than they cared about you.
What's wrong with wanting to get back to your roots?
Nothing. I just don't know what you expect to gain from it.
Sense of belonging. You don't believe me?
Who owns this ranch?
Grandma.
Who's gonna get it when she dies?
Children. Grandchildren. Great-grandchildren.
Paige doesn't care about this place, does she?
No, no.
So, that leaves Courtney, Barrett, Steve, and Jenny. How many of them can you convince to drill for oil?
All of them. Eventually.
It has been quite a day.
It certainly has.
When I left the courthouse this afternoon, I ran to an old friend of mine, a lawyer who used to work for Mike Marshall. He says that he thinks there's oil on the Marshall land and on Max's place, but none on the Harper place.
Well, then why did Justin commit World Oil Funds if he doesn't really believe he'll find oil?
Well, according to Max, Justin's doing it just to get him riled up.
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense to me either, but Justin's done a lot of things that don't make sense over the years.
Most of his actions have been very self-serving.
I know. I just can't figure out what he's up to.
No good, no doubt. Honey, are you going to be able to help Max and Lena?
Well, not if what Justin's doing is illegal. As far as I can see, nothing illegal about it. I'll check on it tomorrow. Is Rena mad at me?
No, not that I know of. Why?
Yes, she hasn't said 2 words to me. I know she's upset because Ginny losing the baby, but usually we can talk things out.
You can't help her with this problem, honey. Rena's thinking of having a baby. Now that Ginny's lost hers, well, she's really frightened.
When did she tell you that?
Tonight.
Well, that's ridiculous. Just because Ginny had trouble doesn't mean Rena's going to.
I know, but it's a very real fear. It has nothing to do with logic or common sense.
I don't understand.
That's why she didn't talk to you.
Were you able to reassure her?
I did what I could, but it's going to take time.
Do you think we're ever going to have any grandchildren?
I'm sure we will.
It's good to have you home again.
It's good to be home again.
How's Mr. Wheeler doing?
No better, no worse.
But he's out of danger now?
He seems to be. I'll call the hospital later. Dr. Douglas said we might be able to bring him home in a few days.
Oh, we'll take good care of him here.
Yes, we will.
Mr. Carrington, have you had dinner yet?
Well, actually, I haven't.
I know it's kind of late, but I didn't have dinner because I didn't have much of an appetite myself. How about if I made us all omelets?
That sounds very nice.
Okay. I'll let you know as soon as they're ready.
You're very fortunate to have someone like Vivian here.
Very fortunate. Billy, what have I done?
You've done the right thing.
But did I do it too late?
Well, I hope not, Iris. All we can do is wait and see.
My husband is lying in the hospital, paralyzed. My son won't talk to me. I feel so alone.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
I didn't have auto insurance. Yeah, I was that awful uninsured driver everyone's afraid of. But when the price of auto insurance is way up here and your cash flow's way down here, you gotta make tough choices. Then I hooked up with Safe Auto. They got me all the insurance the state requires for less. They know what it's like. So now I'm insured. Fear me no more.
At Safe Auto, we know what it's like, and we're here to help 24/7. Play it safe. Call now.
Safe Auto. Actress and former talk show host Ricki Lake has joined a